Hello, everybody. This is Laser Berman, the diplomatic correspondent from the Times of Israel, coming to you from Jerusalem. So hello to all of our listeners, our readers, and especially our community members who support us. I am here today with Matt Levy, OAM, Order of the Australian Medal. He's a gold medalist. He's a world record breaker. He is a Sydney-sider, I believe, and we're going to talk about Olympic swimming, being an author, a speaker, and we're going to learn about this very inspirational individual. Hello, Matt.
Hi there. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great pleasure. So, where are you right now? Where are we speaking to you from?
I'm coming from Queensland, Australia, in Cairns, and I'm currently training for the Paralympic Games, which is in about a week's time.
Exciting. So we'll get to that, but can you give us a sense of what it was like growing up in your family life, and give us a little bit of background on where you come from?
Yeah, sure. I was born at 25 weeks, so pretty early, in 1987. I was born with cerebral palsy, which is a neurological condition, and also vision impaired as a consequence of health issues early on. And I guess that was kind of the beginning and that's the start of I guess, my journey. And I grew up in Sydney, Australia. And I've been there most of my life. And I got into swimming pretty early on, due to health reasons and for therapy. And I've been doing it ever since.
So how did that transition happen when you're entering pools for health reasons? How did the transition to competition start?
Yeah, so I saw the Paralympic Games in 2000, and that kind of, I guess, got me thinking that I can do this one day. I saw people with far worse disabilities than myself, and that kind of lit the fire, I guess, in me to do something more than just do it for health reasons and do it for a bit more competitive pursuits. And that's, I guess, kind of where I got the goal of Paralympic Games. And I've kind of had it ever since, and still, I guess, do sport for health as a first and foremost. But that was, I guess, where it all started.
So how does that work? So you decide you want to start swimming competitively. 4 years later, you're in Athens, 2004. Do you find a coach? Who do you talk to? And how do you become an Olympic swimmer from being in the pool for therapy within 4 years?
I guess it was more about sourcing out what to do first, where to train. I guess back in 2000, there wasn't really people that really understood Paralympic swimming or disability swimming. So it was really teaching whoever my first coach or whoever I kind of had at the time, what my limitations were and what I couldn't do, and then kind of working backwards from there. I guess I was lucky that I was half decent at it. It was, I guess, through a lot of sacrifice and hard work that I kind of got to Athens. But it was really through my parents instilling the values and beliefs in me early on, that I guess I was able to continue to tick those boxes and to overcome, I guess, those obstacles to get to the first games. I guess that's kind of where it all started.
So what was it like being at your first Olympic Games in 2004?
Well, back then we had no social media, we had no Instagram, we had no Facebook, no Twitter. I didn't have a mobile phone. We called our parents and family for phone cards.
Wow.
It was very, very different. I was like a 16-year-old boy going overseas for the first one of the first times. And it was pretty scary, and not having, I guess, any of those kind of attachments is very different to now. It was exciting. It was thrilling to represent your country. It always is. It doesn't get old. It's just, it was a great, I guess, environment to be in. And to walk into the village for the first time, to walk into the stadium for the first time, and the pool, never forget. But it was definitely a different time with no media, no social media, all that kind of stuff, than we have to contend with now.
Sure. So I've been reading that you're an S7 classification swimmer. Can you tell us about the different classification systems within the Paralympics and how you get divided into different groups?
Yeah, sure. So in Paralympic sport, we have what they call classification system. So in swimming, we're divided into S1 being the worst, most severe disability, and S10 being the least disabled. And then you have S11 to 13, which is blind and vision impaired, and S14, which is intellectually disabled. So I fall into the physical classification, which is the S1 to 10. So I'm an S7, as you mentioned, and yeah, that forms under mild to moderate disability, and how they work that out. And you get assessed based on your disability, and then they watch you swim and perform medical assessments on you and kind of determine your class based on that and based on, I guess, where they think you fit. So I've been assessed for most of my career, and each year every 2 years or 3 years we get reviewed for our classification.
So are you doing all the strokes that we know, or do you have particular strokes that you compete in?
I guess I do all the strokes. My main stroke is freestyle, but I do 100 breaststroke, 50 butterfly. But in this breaststroke, 4x100 freestyle relay and 50 freestyle.
Now you are legally blind, is that correct? So how does that play into? I know when I swim, I'm even without any sort of vision impairment, I'm always crashing into the sides or not knowing when the wall is. So how do you deal with that? How do you know when to flip? How do you stay straight?
Yeah, so I guess having vision, having as well as a physical condition is difficult. I think for me, I guess most of my vision is central, so I can't see much at all from a peripheral sense. So it's very difficult from a depth perception. So the turns, the dives is pretty difficult, and to judge where the wall is. So it's really about counting your strokes and really knowing where the wall is, and really understanding your body really well to kind of gauge where all that information is when you're swimming. You're swimming at really high speeds, so you need to know where everything is pretty quickly. But yeah, it's pretty difficult, but yeah, you get used to it.
Okay, well, yeah, because I was just known for my not very talented swimming abilities. I can imagine having to try to gauge the wall like you do. London 2012, from what I can tell, it was your real breakout performance where you're a multiple medal winner. What brought about that change? Why were you able to be so successful in London, where you had achieved some success before, but this was you were really dominating some events?
Yeah, I think it was back in 2008. I didn't have the best games. I didn't do what I wanted to do. I thought I guess, I turned over every stone to get there. I thought I'd done all the work, but I'd just really gone through the motions. So that was, I guess, the catalyst probably for 2012. I looked, I guess I hadn't done all I could do to get to that point. So it was, I guess, thanks to that performance in 2008 that I was able to, I guess, have an honest almost conversation with myself and understand where I need to go to get to the level I want to get to. And I guess that was kind of where it started 4 years prior. And yeah, that was, I guess, the result of, I guess, looking myself in the mirror and kind of not being happy with my performance and wondering what's next and how can I improve.
So now you're at Tokyo, your fifth Olympics. You're no longer 17 years old. You're coming to some of the upper limits of when a swimmer can compete. How has your training changed? How has your diet changed? How do you prepare when you're into your 30s now as a competitive swimmer?
Goes to my fifth Paralympic Games. And yeah, I guess recovery is really important for an athlete of my age. I think getting enough rest and getting the good nutrition and recovering between sessions, that's all, I guess, really important. And that's, I guess, what I do to try and stay on top. Niggling injuries and age and trying to improve. That's probably the biggest change I've made throughout my career, focusing a lot on recovery in the last couple of years to kind of get the most out of the sessions and get the most out of the competitions that I have.
So what are you looking forward to in Tokyo? You're about to head over there. You're swimming on the 25th, I believe your competition starts. So what events are you competing in, and what are you looking forward to in your 5th games?
I'm looking forward to representing my country and yeah, seeing what I kind of produce. We've had a big build up for these games. It's been 5 years. And yeah, it's be exciting, and I'll be competing in 100 breaststroke, 400 freestyle relay, and 50 freestyle at these games. So 3 events. A lot of time to rest and relax, and yeah, just looking forward to seeing what I can produce.
Now, I usually know of swimmers as pretty smooth and shaven. I see you're sporting a pretty significant mustache there. Is that something that swimmers do before the competition, then they take it off?
Yeah, well, I did have a beard a couple of days ago, so I'm in the midst of shaving it off. So I figured I might as well shave it off in bits and pieces.
But you do go into the pool when you've taken care of yourself like swimmers do, and you have no facial hair. Yeah. Now you're also an author. You wrote the book "Keeping Your Head Above the Water." Can you talk about what that book is about and what message you're trying to get out with that work?
I guess I wrote the book "Keeping Your Head Above Water." It's really a deep dive, I guess, into my experience as an athlete and as a human being, and really kind of talks to my concept of success and what I've kind of done and my template for success throughout my life. And it talks to, I guess, 7 principles that I kind of live by, and that you can have in any part of your life, whether it's sport, business, or personal. And it's, I guess, gives you a bit of insight into what I've done from an athlete perspective, but also what I've done from a human being perspective as well. And yeah, it just highlights, I guess, 7 key concepts of success and the framework that I kind of live by.
And what are some of those key concepts? What has driven you, and what are you trying to impart to others exactly?
Well, I can't tell you all that, because then you have to read the book. But yeah, basically it kind of speaks to setting goals, creating tools for success, creating an inner circle, so people that you want to have around you that can push you higher than you think you are. And it talks to, I guess, strategy and focus as well. Yeah, just, I guess, encompasses all those into 7 easy steps to really kind of reach your goals and understand where you want to go, basically. But yeah, happy to send you guys a copy.
I think I need it for my own.
Read into it a bit more.
Yeah. So connected to that book and connected to what I mentioned, you being holding the Order of Australia medal, what are some of your non-swimming activities? What are you involved in outside of the pool?
Yes, I'm an ambassador for a couple of charities. I'm on a few disability boards, and I have a day job at one of the big 4 banks in Australia as a project manager. So I've got a pretty busy schedule, but yeah, I make it work as best I can. Yeah, it's great to, I guess, have to give back to the community, and also do skills that are able to teach me more than just being a sports person. So yeah, I've got a few things that I do, but yeah, I enjoy it so far.
Wonderful. And I think a lot of our community members would be interested in hearing about what's your connection to your Jewish faith, and how that has influenced your upbringing in your life.
Yeah, so my grandparents were born in Czech Republic, and they were in Australia. They came out to Australia after World War II. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be brought up by my parents, but also I understand a bit more about the Jewish faith and how that kind of relates to me. And I was also lucky enough to go to the Derby Games in 2017. So I got to really kind of understand it from a deeper perspective. And yeah, it was really, really great to kind of visit Jerusalem and Tel Aviv when I went to to Israel and to learn a bit more about, I guess, what the culture is and understand the Jewish faith a little bit more. Because I don't know a lot about it, but I do know a lot more from going to Israel in 2017.
So what struck you about Israel? What were certain things that stayed with you, or what was surprising for you as you saw the two major cities, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem?
Yeah, I think they were strikingly similar to Sydney. The people were really welcoming. I think that kind of struck me pretty hard. And it was really great to, I guess, be over the other side of the world and feel at home. And everyone was really welcoming and really understanding, which was great. And I admire the architecture as well from memory. And it was great to, I guess, see such great buildings and such great design and architecture.
Mm-hmm. So what's next for you after these Olympic Games? Any new goals up ahead, or which we expect to see from Matt Levy?
I guess it would be just soak it all in, enjoy the moment. We've got 2 weeks quarantine after we get back from Tokyo.
Okay.
So that'll be a good time to kind of reassess and do all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'll just enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey. I'm not sure what next will be for me, but it would be just great to enjoy what's been a long build up.
Are you possibly going to compete in the next Paralympic Games, or have you not made a decision about that yet?
Probably not made a decision about that as yet, but I'll just enjoy the ride I'm on at the moment, and I'll reassess once the dust settles and go from there. But it's a big decision.
Okay, well, Matt, thank you so much for speaking to us. We want to wish you the best of luck in Tokyo. We'd like to see some more gold medals and some more world records, and we'll be rooting for you. And check out Matt's book, Keeping Your Head Above the Water, and find some, and I'm certainly going to find some very interesting insights onto personal success, and I can't wait to see what's in there. So Matt, thank you for speaking to the Times of Israel and the Times of Israel community.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great to be on the show, and it's exciting to see what the future holds.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.